Good evening, everyone. We welcome you to the International Fab Talks. Fab Talks is all about connecting with the right kind of individuals across India and the globe. We'd love to meet different personalities and to get to know about them, their experiences, their professional expertise, all that they have gained through so many years of experience being in the field of, maybe it could be the medical stream, it could be the pharmacy stream, it could also be the teaching line, it could be just any professional that you are. And when you share your time with us, it's a moment of joy when you accept the invitation to the International Fab Talks. We feel good to hear you out and to get to know what we can learn from the experiences that you've had. This is what Fab Talks is all about. All are welcome to share their journey with us on the International Fab Talks. Apart from religion and politics, all topics are discussed under this beautiful platform called as the International Fab Talks. So dear friends, now it's time to introduce our special guest who has agreed to share his time today. He is a person with lots of experience and exposure across India and I'm sure across the world as well, right? Let's get to know more about our guest today. We'll welcome him first and then get to know about his journey, what he has to share with us and what has inspired him to continue so long on this beautiful planet called Earth, right? He's none other than Mr. S. Swaminathan, joining us all the way from the lovely city Coimbatore, located in Tamil Nadu, India. Hello, sir, and welcome to the session. Thank you so much for being here.
Namaste.
Namaste, sir. Thank you very much for being kind, polite, and humble. What we've seen in you is a softness, and at the same time, we've seen you're very humble and down to earth. This is what we want the youth, including me, the middle-aged, the senior citizens. Everyone should learn to be humble without any ego. Only then we can prosper and survive on this earth. Dear friends, I take the opportunity to share the profile of our celebrity guest who's here with us. He is none other than S. Swaminathan. He has more than 5 decades of experience in the pharma industry. He started off as a medical rep in Madurai. That was in the year 1970. And he has retired as the director of sales, I guess connected with sales from Alembic. Let's get that right, if I'm getting that word right. And we'll get to know what journey he had in these 5 decades, what did he learn, and what he has to share with us. He might have had a very rich experience, and sir has a wonderful wife, and she helps him a lot. She's none other than Gauri Swaminathan, his spouse. She's very supportive and kind, and she's been enabling him to grow in his professional field. She is also a wonderful professional. She is a retired person now. She was working in the insurance company, that is, let me put it right, the general insurance corporate sector. And she retired as the general insurance corporate official. So that's really nice having your spouse also in the professional field and you being a professional, both supporting one another. That's great. They also have a daughter. She is settled abroad. Sir has an experience of more than 5 decades, as I earlier mentioned, starting off as a medical rep and ending up as a director, and maybe much more he would have done in various roles, various levels. He's been working, that's great, in various pharmaceutical industries, not in one state, but across India. So he has a rich and vast experience and exposure. He has lovely hobbies. The first one to mention here is he loves playing tennis, very active. That enables him to keep himself fit even at this age. I think all of us should learn that, to be physically fit by having a hobby that enables us to keep our body strong. Sir also loves watching movies, reading good books. Now, what kind of books he reads, I would love to know. So he's a good reader, an avid reader to put it right. And he has a large heart, helping the needy and elders as well. He has great respect for senior citizens. He himself being a senior citizen, he understands the pain and the needs of the senior citizens and the needy as well. So here's a person who we are going to connect with and get to learn a lot. What can we learn today? Every episode on the International Fab Talks, there is something to learn. Maybe it could be just something that could transform your life or your thought pattern. Dear sir, thank you very much for being a part of our journey. It's really nice to have you here. The first question I'd love to ask you, why did you enter into the pharmaceutical industry? What was it that drew you into this industry as a youngster?
Good evening, Andrea, madam.
Good evening, sir.
Nice to be connected with Fab Talk. And probably in the first about couple of minutes, you have made me feel very comfortable that I am not meeting a very tough anchor, but an anchor who facilitates and who makes the person to speak wholeheartedly and freely. So thanks a lot. And good evening to all my viewers. Yeah, let me start with what I mean. Your question was, what made you to join this profession, right? Actually speaking, Andrea Madam, I joined this profession because I wanted to be out of my house as much as possible, not for any other reason, but to see as many places as possible, number one. Number two, I passed out my C certificate in NCC, and I have applied for OTS. Me being the only son of my family with 4 sisters, my mother was very hesitant to send me to army. But I told her that nothing will happen to me, don't worry, send me. And actually nothing has happened also. Probably I would have become Lieutenant Colonel or somebody by this time. But anyway, God has written something on our forehead, we go as per that. Then I had a friend whose father was in pharma industry. Then I felt if I am not able to join army, I should be able to choose yet another profession, which will give me a lot of experience in terms of traveling, because travel makes a person more knowledgeable. I do not know whether I am or not, but still I tried. So I got trained in anatomy and physiology by him for about 6 months. Then he has put me in his own company as a medical rep. But within about 5 to 6 months, there was an issue. That was that drug control price order, where the prices of the drugs were slashed down. So I was one of the victims because I have just joined the company about 6 months back. So I had to quit the company, or they asked me to go. I have 4 sisters younger to me. My father and mother, I think they did all their best to take care of me and my sisters, in spite of the fact that my father was, he was a stenographer, and he took care of us. He made all of us to, live a very comfortable life. Then I thought I should join somewhere and start earning money for my family. So I joined the job in the year 1970. I left for Madurai with one iron suitcase on my left hand, with a detailing bag on my right hand, with a pillow and a bed sheet in the armpit. I reserved a ticket by Pandian Express that was costing about 16 rupees that time. 3-tier, sleeper. Landed at Madurai. But very interestingly, something happened when I told my father that I'm going to Madurai. On the day of my departure, I thought, like any other son, I will also have my father along with me coming to the station. So once I packed up everything, I told him that I am going. He said, okay, all the best. Take care of yourself. And I started walking towards the station. For a minute, I thought, I felt bad. Why my father has not come with me to the station? Because I am leaving the house for the first time. I'm going for a job. I'm going to be alone, I know, for quite a number of months. But then I thought, this is going to be some sort of a lesson to me in future. I will have to manage my own affair, and it is good that he has sent me alone. So I traveled to Madurai and got on at Madurai station. I found a small room which was costing me 1 rupee 50 paise, which was having cardboard boxes as the wall. Okay, and probably 4 annas lock was there, which you can open without a key also. Okay, I went and stayed there, started my work. The first doctor whom I have seen for that company was one Dr. Satyanarayana, ENT specialist. He was the first doctor who was seen by me, and that's how my career started. So I would like to talk something about my parents also. My parents, they have tried their level best to, make me study well. But I was more seen on the playground than the classroom. But I was very regular to the college because even on Sundays, I'll be there in the playground and in the college. So I was a better student than most of the people. I used to play at least about 5 to 6 games. My mind was more in terms of playing cricket, volleyball, football, hockey, shuttlecock, all the games. But probably about 1 month before the exam, I'll start studying my 1-year course. I'll get pass mark, no problem. I'll pass out without any problem. Only that 1 month I need to study quite a lot. It's fine. So my dream of joining army did not come through. Somebody helped me to join this profession. And I was happy that I got a job because I had to support my family. I have 4 sisters younger to me, and naturally the responsibility was more on me. I joined with a company called Therapeutics after 6 months. First company was Dolphin, after that it was Therapeutic. I learned a lot of things as a medical rep. The reason is that there is nobody to ask you what you did. You are on your own. If you do not have the sense of responsibility, possibly there is every chance for you, relax without doing your work. But fortunately, I had a guru called one Mr. Gopalakrishnan from Sanders. He taught me quite a lot of things. After all, if I am what I am today, it is because of that gentleman who trained me. Always I felt that working for a company without being watched puts a lot of responsibility on your shoulders. And if I am not truthful to myself, I can possibly, cannot come up in life. And I did well. After about 3 years, I got an invitation I got an interview from Ranbaxy Laboratories. That was based upon my performance when I was working for therapeutic pharmaceuticals. So I joined Ranbaxy. Again, same Madurai was my headquarters. Been back. Possibly if I can spell out what was my salary, it was hardly about 175 rupees to start with. But it was fine. I was getting some money. I started working for Ranbaxy with Madurai as my headquarters, West and East Ramnad. And I had a colleague another colleague who recommended me to Ranbaxy, one Mr. Gurnathan. And that was the time compost was introduced, diazepam. And that was the first time an Indian company has overshadowed a multinational organization in terms of sales. Compost was nothing but diazepam. But if some doctor wants to recommend diazepam, he would say, give compost. That was the synonym between compost and diazepam. So I was very proud to work for an organization like Ranbaxy. And the thing about Ranbaxy is that achieving a budget on every month basis was a must. Okay. And I did really enjoy because on 31st night, when you finish your sale and you finish your target, the first morning looks beautiful. And of course, by around 10 o'clock, you get your next month target. That's different. So I enjoyed my job as a medical rep working for Ranbaxy. And somewhere by 1977, I got married. Yeah, it was 77. Got married, and company. My wife was working in Madras. She was a lecturer, and she did her MSc from IIT Madras, and she joined Stella Maris as a lecturer. I got my transfer to Madras in the year 1979. By the time she got an officer post in General Insurance Company, she went to Bombay. And after going to Bombay for about a year, after the training, she was posted at Delhi. And after about 3 or 4 months, she came back to Madras. We started living together with my parents. The most important thing that I learned in this 10 years of my life was that it was a tough job because you had to get out at about 8:30 in the morning, whether it is shines or rains. But it made me more tougher in terms of my outlook. In probably 1982-83, I got promoted as the first-line manager. Then I got promoted as a second-line manager. I went to Bangalore, looking after Karnataka State. And that was definitely a new experience because all the while, I was in a place which was known to me, comfortable, not difficult to converse with people. But when I went to Karnataka, I did not know Kannada. I do not know Hindi. Possibly only 2 languages are known to me. One is English and the other one is Tamil. And initially, it was slightly difficult because you are a guy from outside. And the person who were working under me were all my batchmates. So you can imagine how it would be. But it's fine. Over a period, we were able to get gel well along with each other. And my life was tough in Karnataka due to various reasons. I'm talking about the mismatch between the primary and secondary state. But I was able to gain the confidence and the love and affection of people who were working. So things came through. After about 3 years, I was, the then sales manager of Ranbaxy wanted me to join his company. I mean, he has joined yet another company. He wanted me also to join there. I joined with that, but I found that that was not the place for me. After that, I joined with Sun Pharmaceuticals, the company which was coming up very well. I mean, possibly in today's context, it is number 1 with the acquisition of Ranbaxy and various other companies. But Sun Pharma was a company which was just coming up, and I was proud to be a part of that organization. Fortunately, I learned a lot of things when I was working in Sun Pharma because it was dealing with products other than antibiotics, because Ranbaxy was mainly an antibiotic company, and Sun Pharma had cardiovascular drugs, psychotropic drugs, neurology drugs. So it was fine. There was a different exposure to me. After about 3 years in Sun Pharma, me and my boss did not get along well. It's fine. There is a saying, your father and boss you can't change. That's the thing is you change. So I decided to change. And that was a period when I had an interview with Cadila, yet another wonderful company, a very big organization, and with good number of products. And I was happy to work under Mr. Ganesh Naik. who was the vice president of the organization. Below him, there was one Mr. O.P. Arya and Mr. Nagaraj. I was working under those people. And this time, I was given Andhra Pradesh as my place as headquarters. We did well. We did extremely well. And the next company that I had to shift was not for any other reasons like boss, and I did not agree with each other. The next company that offered me a larger area to work with.
Yes.
I joined with Intas, again a company from Ahmedabad. I was looking after entire South. Prior to that, it was only 2 states. Now it is 4 states with a better emoluments. Not like that. I felt happy because I got an invitation from them or a recommendation from them asking me to join them. That was probably one of the nice things that could have happened in my life because I was wanted in a place. So I joined Intas, and that was an excellent organization to work with. A lot of things to learn from Intas also. That was the time when Mr. Srivasan and me worked together in Intas. Lovely experience again. When I was working in Intas, I had an invitation, or rather I should say, invitation from Torrent as the AGM for half of India, based at Ahmedabad. I was covering, West and South. And that was another nice organization to work with. When I was working for Torrent, I was working in a small place in AP, Narsapur. I got a call from Alembic. I think their HR has called me. They wanted me to join them as a director of sales for Darshat Alembic. Mind you, my age was somewhere around 53. I was glad to get that, a message from them. But after about 3 or 4 days, I felt I should tell them that what's my age. I do not know whether they know my age or not. So I told them that I'm 53 now. Please think whether you require somebody at the age of 53 to work as a director. After about a couple of days, they rang up and said, sir, can you recommend somebody for this post? As we feel that 53 is slightly more. Yes, I did recommend about 3-4 people. Somehow it did not get for them. So then again, they rang up to me. I went to Ahmedabad, and the final interview was somewhere in Bangalore. A funny question that was asked by the person who interviewed me. Swaminathan, I want to ask you a question. You have changed so many companies. I want to know the reason. I told the gentleman, sir, you go through my CV, you'll find my jurisdiction was becoming bigger and bigger, number one. And my emoluments were becoming bigger and bigger. And there is no gap between any company. Even now, it was Alembic which called me. I come for interview. I did not apply for Alembic. He said, okay, nice. It's nice that I did not know about it. All the best. Come to Ahmedabad and join us. Why I am saying this again gave me a lot of, pride that we are getting things only after carrying out our responsibilities in the proper way. I saw that as a recognition for my work. Good, I joined Alembic. And again, a big company which is about 100 years old. The company which started penicillin manufacturing in India, and they were a very big company. They had their godown in most of the places. They had a lot of reps. So I was to be a part of that organization makes me very happy. Here I would like to talk about, bosses show you the path. But your journey cannot be as a loner. Your journey is always along with people who are working with you, and you lead them. Now, all these people who have achieved 110%, I felt that there was a excellent coordination among team members and me, and I was able to understand that they wanted to give their best to me, because probably once upon a time I did my best to them. Here I would like to say each and every person who are working with me have contributed to my career advancement. I also had in my my mind that I should be able to help as many people as possible to become a manager in an organization, or they should go up in their career. I mean, it need not be the same organization. It can be in some other organization, but they should go up the ladder, and not all can go up, but we need to select some people who are good, and if they are in a mood to receive your message and able to reciprocate whatever you tell them, then I think as a manager, I have a responsibility to show them the path. So for all my success in pharma industry, it was my subordinates who have given me best of their support, and we were able to make things happen. Yes, I also feel that bosses have also played a very vital role, but on an everyday basis, it is your colleagues who help you. It is not the boss who helps you. And bosses can change their mind also sometime. But we'll have to manage the boss, and we'll have to manage the people down below. But only thing is, there should be a lot of filtration that should take place when we send the message down from the bosses. This I heard. This I learned with quite a lot of difficulty, because I used to be frank in telling these people. But later on, I thought, no, you don't have to tell everything to everybody. Filter it. Tell them in such a way that it brings good results from them. After all, what you work, you, your boss, and everybody works for the better results for the organization. But there is something called that how you communicate to them, how you make it acceptable to them also. This I learned over a period. It did not come to me in the initial stages. And this sort of exercise on an everyday basis has made me that I need to communicate according to the person who is receiving my message, not that somebody tells me and I give away all the messages to them. So this was the journey I had in Alembic. And the beauty is, even today, there are at least 10 to 12 people who keep talking to me from Alembic. And there are quite a number of people from other organizations, organizations like Torrent, Orientas, and Ranbaxy. And possibly I attend Ranbaxy's alumni meet every year. And we have Alembic meet every year. We are about 25 to 30 people. We all meet at least for about 3 days in a year. And that makes me feel that tomorrow is always beautiful. And it also makes me feel that, I'm not all that old. I think I'm 76 now, but I still feel that the life is beautiful, and God has been too good to me. Probably He has given me more than what I deserve, and I am happy. And I need to talk something about my wife and child also. My wife, as I told you, that she has joined insurance industry as an officer. She became the regional manager for Oriental Insurance Company based at Hyderabad, covering entire AP. She was managing about 1,200 employees. Then she joined a private insurance company. She worked with Reliance for a short period, and then she joined with Royal Sun Alliance, Royal Sundaram Insurance Company in Chennai as the senior vice president. After about 6 to 7 years, she got a call from Larsen and Toubro when they started their insurance division. She joined them as senior vice president, and then she was promoted as the chief operating officer. She was based at Bombay, and I got my retirement somewhere in 2008. Enjoyed being together. Sometimes we had to miss it, and probably being with a child was greatly missed by me and missed by her also. But fortunately, my father and mother, her father and mother, they were taking care of the child. There are instances, she used to be in departure lounge, and I used to be in arrival lounge. So, that I'll be going back to the house, she'll be going for work tomorrow. Sometimes I used to think, what is this sort of a life that we lead? But I always felt that having done well in her education, she has her own dreams. And I think I need to act as a supportive factor for her to achieve her goal, as I want to achieve my goal. So we understood each other. She worked well, I also worked well. And the life was beautiful. And my father and mother have supported both of us. And they brought up my daughter also with a lot of values. So my daughter is a lecturer in vocational college in US. She teaches medical assistance program, and that too for the single mother, the people who do not have that much of resources. They need to get a job, and she teaches in this college, and she does it with a lot of passion, and she feels that I get a lot of happiness in doing it, and it's not for money. So we felt that good values were passed on to her, and she is able to practice all those good values.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing all of that. It was a pleasure to hear you about the journey that you had in the pharmaceutical industry, more than 5 decades that you've been, enjoying yourself. And you say at the age of 76, you really feel that life is beautiful and you look forward to the next day tomorrow. We have seen many of the youngsters who have given up on their lives very early. You faced all of the tough times and challenges, and every day you look forward to learning more and connecting with different people across the globe. That's really very nice. And I love the way you're such a progressive person with progressive thoughts. You've understood your spouse and you've given her wings to fly. That's really nice. And you've also spoken about your daughter. She's so compassionate and understanding towards the feelings and the sufferings of others. And she has, dedicated herself in that professional zone where she connects with the people who really require her services. I really like this. And I like the way you put this, sir, with regard to managers and colleagues. We learn sometimes more from our colleagues than compared to the boss or the manager. Now, what I'd like to ask you is, what was the most toughest time in these 5 decades did you feel anything that was very tough on, in your journey in the pharmaceutical industry? Was it at the start or was it at the end when you retired?
Madam, if I always felt that nothing is tough if I love my job. I know, I'm not saying this for the sake of saying. It is tough, but what can you do about it? Number one. Number two, probably for about 20 days in a month, I used to travel. And mind you, I used to catch a bus when I was a representative. I used to catch a bus at about 6 o'clock in the morning, travel to some place, get down and take a cycle with a tie and a bag. Sweltering heat of Tamil Nadu, you will understand. And keep cycling, work till 2 o'clock, come back to the room, have some food, take some rest, again 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock start, come back at about 11 o'clock. It was tough. But if I start enjoying that, then it's fine. I always feel that no other job gives you so much of happiness than meeting the elite of medical profession. I have met big doctors who were the teachers for so many doctors today. But I don't think everybody will have that sort of an opportunity to meet them, number one. Number two, you have to make them accept you. If they don't want to see you, they can always say, okay, ask him to go back. I'm not going to see him. Because it was their prerogative to see me or not to see me. And understand that I have to equip myself sufficiently in terms of my communication, my attire, my behavior, my demeanor for them to accept me. Number one. Next, to make them to accept your product. For that, we need to have one thing, knowledge. Number two, again, communication. And number three, gift of the gap to put the things forward in such a way that they receive it. Number three, just because they heard you and they felt okay, product is good. That through the pen they had to put it in a prescription pad. It doesn't happen that easily because you have been listening to some guy who was not a doctor, who is not a doctor, who is not on par with him, in terms of knowledge or whatever it is. But still, you are able to put the things across for him to manage, for him to accept. Now, each and every prescription that you get from a doctor makes you feel that today is beautiful, tomorrow is going to be wonderful.
Wow.
Let's work. So this sort of challenges thrown to you by the organization, by the people, by the market, makes you tougher and tougher. And unless and until you enjoy that sort of pressure, you will not be able to deliver goods. So I always think, good, let it be there, but still I should be able to overcome all these issues. One instance which I would like to share with you is that I was covering, East and West Ramnad. And East Ramnad is, I do not know that you should have traveled those places. Milk will look like water and water will look like milk. Absolutely no comfort that you can enjoy in terms of your stay or your food. as I told you that in that sweltering heat, I have to pedal on sandy surface. But sometime or other, I could have given up. I can't do this job. I can search for another job. But I felt in this sort of situation, if I can work, I can make a doctor prescribe my product. That's the best thing that I can do in my life. So my success in Ramnath district made me feel that I am capable of surmounting much more bigger problems. So life is beautiful if you feel the problems are surmountable. And again, I say there are two things. One, problems which are under your control, problems which are not under your control. And I would also always, feel that don't bother about things which are not under our control, because that makes you feel slightly defeated. So if it is under your control, better do that. All the other things, leave it to God.
Yes, sir. That's really nice. What's in our control, we should control it. What is not in our control, we should let go and leave it in the hands of the Almighty. Sir, you were the only brother to your sisters and the only son to your parents. Were you pampered by your sisters? Did you receive a lot of love? Which sister was very close to you? Something about siblings?
Yeah, it's a good question. Being the only brother for four sisters, yes, they were looking. They are looking at me for everything. I did my best to them, and at this juncture, I should say that then I had to get them married. It was my wife who stood with me in terms of even finding out a good bridegroom. And four sisters, financial implications are quite phenomenal, and it doesn't stop with marriage alone. It keeps coming. It keeps coming. So for all that, she has been a great supporter, and
Yes.
I owe a lot of things to her. And without her support, I would not have seen through my responsibilities. And I'm happy that my responsibilities were fully carried out with the support of her. And they are all happy, and they are all in good position today. So, yeah, I love them. They love me, and they love my wife. They also know that what sort of a sacrifice she has also made. And even today, she continues.
Excellent. That's really nice. I love the way you answered this so well. They love me and we love them back. And they love my wife. They respect her for what she's been doing all these years for them, like, joining the family together, coming together. So, what now comes to my mind? That young boy who held a suitcase in his hand, a trunk maybe, the pillow and a carpet and a bag. So I just imagine you in that situation. Like I recollect that now, when you shared that earlier. How did you felt? You really missed your dad at that moment when you were going to the railway station for your first job, right?
Yes, I did.
Yes. So I would like to know, why did your dad do that? Did you ask him, or did you assume something in your mind? What was going on in your mind? Like,
Yeah, I did ask him after about 10 years.
what did he say?
He said, you were 20 when you got the job. And you were always, on the playground, playing some game or other. And I know pretty well you know the world. So you are not sitting in the house and reading, but you are always outside. So you know what the world is. So I did not have any doubt in my mind that you will be able to, function on your own. Number one. Number two, I know pretty well that in Madurai you are going to be alone. Myself coming to the station and for that 15-20 minutes, you might have definitely felt why I am not calm. But I thought, you have started flying, I think you need to go on your own. Let's see, if there's any problem, I am always there. But that action of mine must have made you more resolute in terms of your life ahead of you. To be frank, it has made me more resolute. And if at all I have to do something for myself, I have to do it. There's nobody else to do it. It's fine. So I talked to him after 10 years.
Yes, that's really nice. Thank you for sharing that. I'd love you to share some memories with your mom. What kind of beautiful memories you remember about her? If you could share that, because see, you were the only son, you wanted to join the army, and she said no. Like, even if I was your mom, I would have never sent you. I wouldn't have even sent you to Madurai as well. I would have kept you very close to me. So now I would like you to share something about your mom. What is it that you learned from her? And what are the good memories you have about her?
My mom was a wonderful lady. I love good food. Okay. Let me say that at the beginning itself, I'm a good foodie. And she used to make it. I mean, her cooking was phenomenal. Next thing is, I always say that there is no other love which is as pure as mom's love. Many times it may look like unpalatable to us, but the truth is, whatever is said by her has a meaning, and it's for the welfare of the children. No mom is going to say something which is not for the good of her kids. My mom, she never used to confront me, but she will tell in such a way that I need to accept what she says. But I did. But my father, I mean, you are not asking me about my father. Now itself, I'll tell you. He used to beat me because I was not a good son. That's a different issue. Because I was not studying in the house. I was always seen outside on the ground, and no father will like it. Am I right? Probably mother may feel it's okay, but father doesn't feel that way. But every time my mother used to come and console me, she used to say, your father has beaten you because you didn't do something which you should have done. Number one. Number two, he's not beating you because he hates you. He beats you because you should become better. You will become better, don't worry. I know you have something in you. Tomorrow you'll become better. But try to, listen to your father also. Yes, many times it was not possible because my heart was there in, playground only. But today, I'm saying what my mother said, I 100% accept with her. And nowadays I start feeling the way in which my father beat me, that has made me better today. If he has not beaten me, probably I would have gone astray. So I feel that he did the best thing possible in my life. Yeah, mother was love, great lady. She was hardly about 5 feet and 2 inches, very short. My father is very tall. And yeah, I love her. I miss her also. Great lady.
Thank you for sharing that about your parents. That's really nice to remember them. And as you've said, you were quite mischievous and most of the time on the playground. I mean, you get to learn a lot when you mix out with many of the people and that you get to know about life really when you become street smart, right? That's really nice, the way you shared that. And you've accepted that you were a naughty kid, like not interested in studies. And then finally you learned everything and you have risen to this spot where you are now, this place. Now, sir, what I'd like to ask you is like, during your journey in the professional space, You might have encountered many of the people who might have not responded to you in a positive way. There might have been disagreement with regard to their thought process, or with regard to the way they work, or whatever it could be, some disagreement in the workspace. So how did you deal with it? Are you short-tempered, or you maintain your calm and try to tell them in a calm way? What works well? Because see, 5+ decades, more than 53 years you are into this field. So what does it take for one to have his temper in control?
Yeah, good question. Good question. There were moments where I should have blown my top. But I always felt, what is the result of it going to be? And I know for sure that results will be negative only. Because I am blowing my top because already it is negative, and I'm going to blow my top and it is going to become further negative. So I try to know exactly what is the problem of the other guy who is talking to me, or who has got different views. By and large, I found that listening to somebody makes them feel that there is somebody to listen to me. Most of the problems crop up because the person who has to listen is not listening. Or while the discussions are going on, I try to express my views, which I feel is unnecessary. Listen to him, analyze in your mind where exactly you are going to tell what to him, and tell that in such a way that he understands that what you are talking is not against him, but against his actions. But this requires certain amount of, exercise. Not every time you can't do that, but over a period you can do it for more number of times. There are quite a number of cases where, I had to confront some people. I don't raise my voice. Number one. Number two, I look at his eyes. And number three, I write down on a paper whatever he says. So the moment I start noting down, he becomes slightly careful in terms of telling. After he finishes his talk, I tell him, these are all the things that you told me. Am I right? Or somewhere I have to strike it off. What happens to him is that he goes back. He feels, somewhere I think I have also said something which is not right. So this partially reduces his, negative ideas. Then on that, if I can talk to him that time itself, counsel him, fine. Otherwise, I tell him, probably we'll meet some other time, maybe today evening or tomorrow morning. Let me discuss with you. And from whatever you have told me, I am not passing any judgment. It may be true, may not be true, whatever it is, I am not worried. But today I'll think about it, talk to you tomorrow. Now what happens is, he receives this sort of a message from me. He also goes back and thinks, did I talk properly or I did not talk properly? Even if you would have added something which is not true, probably the next day when I talk to him, he tells me, sir, what I told you yesterday, that was not 100% right. That was my feeling. So what happens is, over a period, we understand each other better. And what I am going to tell him, it should not be for his detriment. At the same time, it should not be for the detriment of my company also. So normally, quite a number of people whom I have told them that this place is not for you. I have got them a job somewhere else also. And, mind you, all these guys have done well. I would like to share an experience with you. one of the boys who came to me for an interview, I found that he was, economically not very well off. I took him to a barber shop, met the barber to cut his hair. Those days people used to have this much of hair. Then I took him to Raymond shop, bought him pant and shirts. Yeah, he paid me back. That's not a problem. And he was a vice president of a company. So in this, what I felt is that I have the best, the lot of happiness that I could definitely, do something to a guy to come up in life. Unless and until I took if I had not taken that initiative, probably the whole thing could not have come up to this level. Might have also, I'm not sure. But I could do something what I felt that I should do. So you said, when you confront with some people, open this and close this, keep it here, think about it in the night, talk to him tomorrow, and it is going to be by and large, it's going to be a pleasant affair. Yeah, next.
Yes, sir. That's really nice, sir. Thank you so much for sharing that. We'll take a small break and we'll be back again. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, dear friends, we'll take a small break for about 5 minutes and rejoin again. This is part 1. We'll have part 2 as well. Thank you so much for staying with us, dear friends. Do share this video with the right kind of people. And of course, if you like what the International Fab Talk team is doing, connecting with the right kind of unsung heroes, professionals, and people from all walks of life, like, comment, subscribe, and share to the International Fab Talks.